Hello there, my name is Jacob Schulte and I would like to thank you ahead of time for the opportunity to make this video and to introduce myself to you. I am very excited and grateful for the opportunity and look forward to speaking with you in the future. I am a 23-year-old recent college graduate from Southern Illinois University in Carbondale, a 4-year college located 6 hours south of Chicago. I currently hold a Bachelor of the Arts in English and have received 180 hours of TEFL training from the TEFL Institute of Chicago. I have really wanted to travel and see the world all my life and have always been very interested in Asian cultures. I made a good number of friends in college who are from China or Korea or Japan and Burma and India, and I love talking to them and learning about their perspectives and about their cultures. And I really have always found that learning about other people and getting outside, the just my culture, just American culture box has always been like a very, very enriching and enlightening experience. And I really, want more of that. I really feel it makes me a better person. And as for teaching, I've never really been able to picture myself doing anything else. For part of my TEFL training, I worked at a migrant camp in Cobden, Illinois, and it was teaching the children of Mexican migrant workers, many of whom had very little English or no English at all, some of whom are fully bilingual. So, in addition to the experience already of teaching ESL, I really, I loved those kids. I mean, that was a very good experience, and I enjoyed it, and I can picture myself doing that. And beyond that, I've had experiences working with adults, in some cases the parents of those same children, and again, talking to them is a very enriching experience, and helping them learn English, it creates like a connection that's like very, very rewarding, and helps everyone involved. As for like classroom management, those same experiences gave me some ideas of how to do with that and how to work with that. I took education courses at Southern Illinois, so I understand how to structure a lesson, how to work with Gardner's multiple intelligences, account for different learning styles among students, and classroom management was a huge part of that. Like for me in particular, I like a semicircle, like a crescent moon shape for my classroom, with everyone sitting at desks, myself included. Or for like a discussion, if I can arrange desks in a circle so that the students can see each other and talk to each other face to face. I don't like any student feeling like they're far away from the teacher, or like they can't interact. Generally, I feel like, the farther back a student is, the more removed they are from the lesson. And if everyone can feel, almost like a round table sense of community in the classroom, I think that's the most effective thing. And barring that, if they can be broken up into groups where even if they don't get to speak with the whole class and all connect with each other, then at least I can get groups together, which for ESL, every ESL class I've ever taken, I never really I felt that the best part of any ESL class and the most effective part, and certainly when I've learned languages, the parts that I remember best are when you get to talk to other people, when you get to use the language. So in my classroom, whether I'm working with adults or children, I like to foster as much communication as possible, both between me and the students, and especially between the students themselves, because they're all learners and they can all bolster each other that way. Now, as for how I deal with a difficult child, I prefer diplomacy. With smaller children, I've found that the most effective manner to deal with them is usually like just very kind, but firm, to direct them. They're small. Their parental figures are very important to them. So really, nothing much more than a gentle redirection is usually needed. And a small child, you can very easily remove if they're a complete and total disruption. And for older students, I especially feel as students get towards 12 and become teenagers, and especially 14, 15, when dealing with a troublesome student there, they're going through a lot of emotions, and I feel most of them really want respect. They want validation that what they think and what they feel is important, and it's important to me and to the other students. So I think like a mutual respect and understanding, and a willingness to meet the student halfway is the key. And I have had experiences both in the migrant camp and working with older students. In this case, the older student was about 13, and in the preschool, the child was 5. And in those cases, there was some progress with the older student simply by, again, being able to meet them halfway and show that you do respect them and you do care, and that it's safe, I think, to let go of their pride just a little bit and come to you. I think that made that towards the end of the semester, that did make like some progress. But for the extremely difficult child in the Cobden migrant camp, mostly I had to run damage control, make sure that he did not disrupt lessons, make sure that he didn't bother the other students, particularly he would bother the girls or kick over blocks. And for that it was basically running interference and trying to keep everything running as smoothly as possible despite, the wrench in the gears. And that, again, I think we made, me and the teachers I was working with did manage to make some progress towards getting him to behave in a more effective and cooperative manner. But, again, that was, I think, a good experience for me of learning how to like a completely disruptive child and how to keep a properly functioning classroom despite that problem. And, even those experiences, I have like an understanding of how to do this. I've done it before. I know how ESL works, and I just, even the most painful, difficult, just pain in the neck child it's still like a joy to work with them, and it's still like a very rewarding experience. Even if you can just make like a bit of progress, if something sticks, and you can like feel like you are effective in that way, like you've helped this child to reach like a future and understand things like that. That's that's a great experience. And that combined with my love of Asian culture, and my wanting to expand my worldview and travel and see, and really, instead of just getting what I can from just talking to some of my friends who are studying overseas, really, when my friend Ren, who lives in Shanghai or lived in Shanghai, talks about Shanghai, that's one thing. It's another thing to, go for me to go and actually like, oh yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. And that's an experience I really want. And I'm hoping that with this video, you'll have a good sense of who I am and my experience. And I've been able to, convey how much like I want to do this, and how much I'll enjoy it, and how much I'll be able to help you and your students. And I hope to hear back from you very soon. And again, thank you very much.